chest wading today. We're going to go out on the Stanpit stretches here, see whether we can locate these fish. Okay, we're going to be using a mepps 2 silver blade, and to that I've got a swivel, fishing 8-pound line through onto a sensitive hook, and that's our setup today. Jumping here, so we'll give this a go. I'm going to cast her out, and it looks as though we're on pretty low water. We've got spring tides this week, which is about 1.7 maximum height. And say we're on low water, but there are 1 or 2 fish moving around, and they're feeding in these shallows. So we've got Hangersbury Head in the distance there. You can see all the huts on the end there with the Isle of Wight behind them all. So the tide is going out, so we've got an ebbing tide at the moment, and fishing about 2.5 to 3 feet of water here. Out we go. Now there's a deep channel of about 6 to 7 feet down here. Let that sink with the current. The current's flowing down, so we'll just let that run, and then we'll just work her back slowly, almost on the dangle. You can feel the strength of the current. It's quite strong. So hopefully there's some sea trout in this zone here. Just going to try, see whether we can pick 1 or 2 up. Just nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Slowly does it. That spinner's working really, really well, really well. Let's go again. Out we go. Just working our way through here. This is a good little spot for the sea trout. I like to hang on the edge here. Just working it nice and slowly. Nice and slow retrieve. We've got some depth here. We're just wading in about 2.5 feet. And then we've got a drop off down here. There's a nice drop off that goes into a channel. So we'll cast out as far as we can towards that buoy. The buoys represent the boating channel, so that's where the depth is. And you get 3 or 4 meters of clearance on high water. We're just moving on to lower water now. You can see it's dropping off, it's ebbing. And the tide's going out to sea at the moment, so the mepps is working beautifully against this flow. And we're just seeing, ground isn't too bad. There's 1 or 2 bubbles in front of us, which means that there could be some fish just in front of this mepps here. We'll try an upstreamer, so we're going to go up, let that sink down 3 or 4 seconds, and then take it round on the curve. So that's going to drop now, and move around on the curve. So working in about 3 feet of water now. But a lot of these fish are near the top anyway. So another fish jumping. We've got a couple of jumpers. I'm just trying with a mepps 2 at the moment. And if that doesn't work, oh, there's a jumper. So we'll go for the jump. Just felt a little knock there. Small little tap. Could have been a fish. had a bit of a tapper there. That's all looking good, and the spinner's working beautifully through. A lot of bird life here in the harbour, mainly seagulls, but there's a whole variety of lapwings, oyster catchers. It's very, very nice. And the spinner's working beautifully through. Yes, it's working nicely, so just got to find those sea trout. Just keep working our way up the... There's another jumper just there. They're showing themselves. There are 1 or 2 fish in the system, just got to present this spinner to them. Mepps 2 is a good size. I was catching them on a Mepps 1 yesterday, but I'm just stepping up a little bit for a bit more castability in the wind and a bit more visual, a bit more visibility. Just seeing if that's going to help. So we'll keep with this little silver spinner for a while, and I'll bring out another spinner with a bit of colour in it. I've got one that looks like a little trout. Right, we've got fish jumping here, quite a few. We may have found an area where there's a few holes in. We'll just have a look. I've got £8 all the way through. I'll tell you why, it's because these fish get spooked by braid. Yeah. Fish on. Fish on. Fish on. He wants to go. Oh, he's come off. Mullet. Well, I've got a mullet hit that. He came off just close in. So we've got a few mullet jumping around. He hit that one with venom. So it's good to see, good to hear. That was a striped mullet, really striped. Had it on for about 25 seconds. Now that was a good bit of sport. There's 1 or 2 jumping. There we go. That spinner. It's just unlucky that it just didn't quite stay on the whole distance there. But good sport, good fish. That was about £1.5 to £2 fish. Nice slow retrieve. And look, they're jumping. They are jumping. And again, you can see them jumping. We've got a hot spot here. Let's go out again. Out we go. There's 1 or 2 fish out there. There's quite a few fish out there. They're jumping all over the place. I think most of them are little mullet though. There we go. Right, we've had a mullet on and off, but on for quite a long time. So we'll keep working with the Mepps 2s producing the fish. We'll stay with it. We know the mullet like it. Getting little taps, so it could be fish playing with us. Right, we're going to try this little Mepps. It's about a Mepps 2 with a white body and a bit of a tail coming out. We'll see if that works for these sea trout. Got that from America. Never tried it here, but we can see if it works. And there's some fish jumping out here, so let's go out for them. And they've got much longer casting ability, so we should be able to get out and get deeper with this. Hopefully that white tail will attract a few more, and maybe we can get a connection. So let's just see how it's working through the water. I think we've got a fish on here on this bottom. Is it a fish? I don't know. I think I picked up the bottom. Snagged. Bit of a snag there. Right, we've just seen a sea trout jumping, so we're going to try and get onto it. Just jump there, right there. And just going to work the spinner through. Down to a mepps 1. Smaller spinner. Look at this, look at this. He's jumping right near the spinner. Is he going to take it? We've got a jumper. We've got a jumper. Is he going to take it? Oh, it's a shame. We picked up some weed. If it wasn't for that weed, he could have taken it. Oh, little tug. Something hit it. Good little tug. Oh, another tug. I think they want it. Let's go again. Again, a sea trout here. It's quite shallow. Just working it through now. So we've got a gold with a red dot as opposed to silver. Just seeing if that will produce a fish for us. They might prefer silver, but another fish jumping out there, looked like a sea trout again, leaping through the air. I've got 1 or 2 in the system. Just got to try and make contact with them. Out we go. Ooh, that sea trout right under our nose. Right under our nose. Oh, they're close. They're in close. It's whether they want gold or whether they want silver. Let's go for the jumper. There we go. We're fishing 2.5 feet depth here. You can see the sandbanks. A lot of bird life through here. And another jumper. Just working it through the pool. And out we go. Out we go. Give that a chance to sink. More depth now. We're in, fish on, and fish on, ladies and gentlemen. Is it a sea trout? He took it really close in. I think this one is a sea trout. It looks sea troutish. He's taking, he's stripping. It does look like a sea trout. I'm hoping it is. He's fighting really well. I'll just loosen the drag off a little bit. There's 1 or 2 here. Off he goes. He's running, he's running. He's running. So fish on, ladies and gentlemen, fish on. He wanted that small little mepps. Just going to tighten up a little bit. He's running. He's running. Is he going to come out of the water? He's going, he's going, he's going. This is a good fish, ladies and gentlemen. Good fish. Is it a sea trout we want? Or is it another thin-lipped mullet? It looks like a thin-lipped mullet to me. I think it is. Oh, he's stripping. It's a thin-lipped. You can see the striped marking on him. It's fighting really well. Don't they go, wow, wild fish. He hammered it, he hit it. Let's see if we can play him in. Well and truly hooked. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's quite a nice sized fish as well. He's still on. He took that mepps 1, they liked it. Look at him go, aren't they fighting well? They fight really, really well. sun's starting to drop. Not the sea trout we're after, but still a nice fish. Nice fish. Really nice fish. There he goes. There he goes. Off he goes. He's trying to shake the hooks. Got him on. Got him on. He wants to go. He wants to go. Pound for pound, they fight really well, these mullet. Really, really well. Wow. He's going well. He is going well. Really, really fighting well. Still got plenty of fight in him. I think he's quite a decent fish, this one. Oh, he's really kicking off on the rod. Wild fishing, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get much better than this. This really is wonderful fishing. Wonderful fishing. Here he comes, here he comes. He's coming. He's coming. Still got fight in him. They're turbocharged. Those powerful tails give them that extra bit of power. Pound for pound, very good fighting fish. Just trying to keep in touch with him. Wow, he's going, he's going. Boy, is he going. Let's try and get his head up if we can. He's still fighting well. Here he comes, here he comes. He's coming towards us. He's seen us. He's seen us. Pretty fish. Pretty fish. He's coming around this side now. Here we go. Oh, he's fighting so well. He's fighting well. Is he? He is turbocharged. Another one jumping there. This is a great little spot. Alright, let's get his head up. Still wants to go. Still wants to go. Just trying to shake the hooks. Oh, look at him go, look at him go. These fight well, don't they fight well? Let's try and get his head up. He's still going well. Size. He's a good size. He's a good fish. It's a thin lipped. Just see how pretty he is. He's a very, very pretty fish, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. He's a good size. He's an absolute beauty, about 2–2.5 pounds. Now, what he fought well. You can see I've just hooked him in the lip there, just in the front. So we'll have that out. Out she comes. Out come the hooks. And then we'll just show you the fish. There's the fish, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute beauty. And we're going to return him. So we'll just hold him with his head down. Let him get his strength back. Let him get his strength back. And then when he's ready to run, he'll go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. He's a beauty. Just look at that. Absolute beauty. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. A thin-lipped mullet here in Christchurch Harbour. Absolutely superb looking fish. Just look at that. Beautiful fish. Let's let him go. It's a thin-lipped mullet. Yeah. Off he goes. About 2 pounds. They're jumping around on a mepps 1. Number 1 mepps. That's what they want. There we go again. Fish jumping. We've got 1 or 2 in the zone here. 1 or 2 in the zone. Bit of bird life through here as well. Taking this mepps. That was a beautiful fish. Absolute beauty. Wow, there's a jumper. Right on that jumper. Right on it. We're in, fish on. What have we got? Is this a sea trout? We got a fish on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's going. He's going. He's going. Oh, it's right underneath our feet here. I'm not sure whether this is a sea trout. We'll find out. He's fighting well. He's fighting well. It might be a small little schoolie bass. Looks small, but he's fighting very, very well. Let's have a look at him. Still on. It's a little sea trout. I think it's a little sea trout. The smallest of sea trouts you can imagine, I think. I think I've got my target species. It is, it's a sea trout. Brilliant news. My first little sea trout at last. We've got one. We have got one, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's see if we can play him in. He's very, very pretty. These little sea trout that are jumping, this is a small one. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. You can just see him, a little baby sea trout. Very, very pretty. Oh yes, he's very, very pretty. Oh, I'm so pleased. I've got my first sea trout. He's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And he's fighting well. Look at him go. Look at him go. It's only about half a pound, but he's fighting like a dog. He's fighting seriously well. So pleased. Right, let's have a look at him. Wow, look at this. It's absolutely beautiful sea trout. We'll get underneath him. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen, my first sea trout here at Christchurch Harbour. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen, to show you the fish. There he is. Absolute beauty. Look at that sea trout, about half a pound. So let's get the hooks out. It's just a double hook required. I've got 2 hooks rather than 3. Just fishing a double hook. So let's get those out. Slammed the hooking, slammed it. Let's get the first one out first. So that one's out first. Now we can get the second one out. Out he comes. So hooks are out, and there it is. Let's show you the fish now. It's a beautiful sea trout of about half a pound, fresh out of the harbour. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Right, let's recover him. Now we'll just put him in the water, let him recover. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure he's recovered. First sea trout from Stanpit here. Just going to recover him, make sure he's good to go before he goes. Just hold him until he's ready to kick off. And there's the fish, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. We'll just let him get his strength back. Off he goes. So pleased. I wanted a sea trout. I got one. May not be massive, but I got one. Oh, I'm so pleased. Let me show you the spinner that's doing the business. It's this little fella here. It's the smallest mepps 1, and it's a gold with silver spots. double hook, small little barrel, connected to 8 pounds of line, small swivel and a small spinning rod, and that's what's doing the business. So pleased, so pleased. On Christchurch Harbour we've had our thick-lipped mullet, or thin-lipped mullet rather. Just wondering whether we can catch another sea trout, and maybe a slightly bigger one this time. Fish of about a pound would be nice. They're pretty, they're immaculate condition, very very pretty, and pound for pound they fight well for a little half pounder, so I'm very very pleased, very pleased with that. So I've hit my target species. May not be the biggest, but we build on little increments here, step by step, so now I know how to catch the sea trout. I know how to position myself for a slightly bigger one now. I just have to keep delicate tactics, working it through, put the fly through here and every time I come. So it all looks good, and we're on a nice tide, 1.7 on the height, and we're just ebbing now, it's all dropping off. So that's on the ebb, sea trout on the ebb. So I'm pleased, and the spinner's working against the flow here, and that's what's making the spinner work so well. And it's a lot harder surface through here, it does feel quite hard, the ground. I'm just wading in 2 feet of water and fishing in 3 or 4 feet of water. But this little run here is holding fish, so it's excellent news. I have got a small spinner that I could use, but I think we'll stick with this because this is producing the sea trout. The silvers produce the mullet, but I think the gold produces the sea trout. That's what. Oh, a little tack there. Something hit that. I'm getting some bites here, and it's just under the rod tip. They're following it up. And just look at that. Another little sea trout just jumped in ahead of me. So we've got the smallest of sea trout. I haven't seen a big one jump yet, but there's going to be some big ones out here. We're in. Fish on. What have we got here? Slightly bigger. Ah, it's pulled out. Just pulled out. Let's have a look at her. Oh, we hit some weed. So it wasn't a fish at all. Out we go. Conditions look good. Overcast. The right tide. Hardly any boats. It's low water. So it's all looking good. Looking good. Out we go. Give that a chance to sink, and then in we come. It's all looking good. We're in. Oh, look at that. Took it and then let go. That was a sea trout. I think we've hit sea trout territory here. So that was so close. He came up and hit that. I think the fly would work well here. Small flies. So to bring the fly rod next time we come. But that was exciting fishing, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting fishing. Sink and then retrieve. And again he's jumping. We've got a sea trout jumper, and that looks like a 1.5 pounder. We've got one behind us, one in front of us. There's a few sea trout in the pool here. So let's see if we can make contact with one. Better sized fish. Going to go again. There's a couple jumping right over there. So we stay with this little one, mepps one. Seems to be doing the business. Now we'll try a slow retrieve. Another one jump in there. Well, we've hit a spot here, a trout spot. There we go. Swans around, feeding around. What a beautiful setting to be doing some wild fishing for sea trout. Isn't that lovely? Hengistbury Head, nice calm bay, fish jumping, absolutely gorgeous. get a bit deeper. Maybe the bigger fish are slightly further down. So we've got about 3 or 4 feet of water here. It's a good spot. A lot of fish in this particular bay here. Fish jumping behind us. Right behind us. Look at that go. There we go. Bring it across. Oh, that was a big, big sea trout. Look at the size of that one. That was a huge sea trout. Wow. That was a huge one. 5 to 6 pound at least. Lovely to see a big sea trout leaping like that. Isn't that just lovely? This is what we like to see. Big, big sea trout. And that's the zone. You're going to take this little mepps. Or do we up the size of the mepps to accommodate the size of the fish? That was a very, very big sea trout just leapt. We've got some leapers back onto that spot. That was a big, big, big sea trout jump. Really big. Leapt straight out of the air there. Beautiful. Okay. We've got some leapers. Look at them, they're leaping. 3 or 4 fish leaping here. Working it through. Just working it through. We're in, and he's jumping right under our nose. It's a sea trout. I've got him on. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an active sea trout. Talk about active. My goodness me, he's active. He's on. God, boy, did he take that close in. Oh, look at him go. He's under my nose. He's right underneath me. It's a sea trout. It's a bigger one. We're into a nice sea trout, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so pleased now. I want to hold on to him. He's a beautiful, bigger than the other one. Fighting really, really well. We've got sea trout. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Really, really beautiful. Active. Active. Another one jumping over there. Second sea trout, ladies and gentlemen. And he's beautiful. Just look at that. Really good. Really, really good. And they like that little mess. And there we are. Look at that. He's an absolute beauty. So let's see if we can get some nice footage of him. Oh, look at that. It's about 3/4 pound, slightly bigger than the other one. And fighting well. Acrobatic. And still fighting well. And still, whoa! Whoa, aren't they fast? Aren't they fast? Just look at this. Beautiful sea trout. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so pleased. Second sea trout of the evening. Really, really good. Really, really good. And they like that little mepps. out. So this is a slightly bigger fish, about 3/4 of a pound I would say. And again, he liked this mepps, so we'll just take the hooks out carefully. So second sea trout, and the hooks are out. Just slip him out. Out he comes. Out come the hooks. Fish is out. Hooks are out. Just show you this fish. Just look at that. Absolutely superb. There he is. That's the sea trout. He's lovely. Right, we're slipping back. So make sure he's recovered. And there he is. Side profile. And then let him just go off when he's ready. Here he goes. It's not quite ready yet. Support him. Support him. Kick, we'll let him go. He's not quite ready yet. Almost there. Off he goes. Off he goes. That's beautiful. Beautiful. So 2 sea trout and 1 mullet, and there's bigger sea trout yet. So we'll stay with it. Big sea trout jumping, so I'm going to go ambitious. I'm going from a 1 to a clock-gripping 5 to see whether or not we can get a sea trout on this big one and get a big one at that. So let's just see. I've got longer casting distance on her, so I can go further, but it'll work slower through the water and it'll be bigger attractor, bigger vibration. If there is a really big sea trout, he's not going to miss that and he should hit it. So let's just try anyway. Give it a go as we work our way back. So, oh, I just saw a huge sea trout come up. We're talking huge, absolutely huge. Just head and tailed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something here. I'm going to put that in front of that head and tail, and it was a big one. Out we go. Just about there. It was a big 4 to 5 pound sea trout that just head and tailed. Now, we've got some fresh run fish coming in here. It is a spring tide, they are running through. So I'm upstreaming it and I'm just working it and it's jumping. This is jumping. Is he going to nail it though? Will he nail it? Will he have the confidence to come on and hit that? I hope he does. I really do. It'll be interesting to see what this will produce. So, it's a big mepps. I'm looking for the big sea trout now. So you've had 2 small, it's time for a big one. I could go in between, but I'm going ambitious all the way. Ambition. Give that a chance to sit and then just work our way back. Working our way back. And I can feel it working really, really well. I'm working slowly as well. I haven't got to work this fast. The big blade means that I can work it slowly. It gives the sea trout a chance to see it, turn on it and hit it. And also the vibration is going to be much louder and it's going to be more visible to them on last knocking. So that's what I'm doing, upstreaming it. If I downstreamed it, it would work pretty good as well. So we could try that technique. And look, it looks lovely in the water. Let's just try a downstream. And that will hold beautifully. So the current should make that work beautifully. So hardly moving it now. It's almost on the dangle fishing. See if I can get a fish to come on onto the back of it and hit it. So nice slow movements here. Dangle fishing. I can feel the blade working. Just a small bit of movement. And as soon as it comes square on, it works even better. And that's one of the benefits of chest wading out. You can control your mepps and your spinner much, much better. And it slows down here, and that's when you get a hit, literally just there. But it's huge. And we picked up some weed. So away we go. Jumping. Look at that. Big one jumping back there. Wow, this is great. Really, really good. Really exciting fishing this. Just got to get in touch with those fish. In touch. So let's see, can work our way through. lure 2 with a fisheye, small hooks, and a mepps 2 is what I'm going to try. We've had a couple of beautiful sea trout. We've had a beautiful thin-lip mullet. Great evening. Really enjoyed the fishing here at Stanpit, and stunning views, and it's been a beautiful day.